All right, so our next guest is Ron Wall. Can y'all hear me first of all?
Oh, yes. Hi,
Hello.
Kat.
Little choppy, and I can't tell sometimes
Can you hear me?
if it's just me on my end or
Yeah,
what. So anyway,
can you hear me at all?
I can hear you, but you're frozen, like your picture's frozen.
You look concerned.
Okay, well, I don't care if my picture's frozen. Okay, but y'all can hear me.
Yes.
Y'all can hear me. Okay, so Ron is. We're having technical difficulties, and guys, I'm sorry, Ron. I'm going to have to hop off in a second. I just got word that apparently the video's not working right on the site, so I need to hop off. But I'm very excited to introduce Ron. He's an awesome guy. Joel and I both, who was on the show earlier, we both worked with him. Great. Well, actually, I have more work with his wife, I guess, but he has started a phenomenal company, helping people out, and kind of focus with him on, because we have a lot of people wanting to start a business right now, right? And wanting to become entrepreneurial. You know, it's a great time to evolve. It's a great time to grow, and people are wanting to become entrepreneurial and kind of take that next step in their career evolution. So, Ron, you know firsthand what it's like to be an entrepreneur. What is the first piece of advice that you would give to somebody?
Time management. Honestly, if you have something that you're really passionate about and you think you can actually do it for a living and make money doing that and better yourselves and better other people, first is making that decision and then making a plan. First, you need to sit down. You need to get a schedule for what you need to do. Things like setting up banking for it. First off, I mean, before you even set up banking, because that's hopeful. That's getting to the point where you're actually bringing in a cash flow with your business. So first things first, I'd probably make a plan for what you're actually doing. Make a list for everything that you're providing, either services or products. And then basically you're going to need to find out how you relate your service to the public. You need to get your answers out there, your product, your service, whatever you're providing to the public. You need to find out how you need to do that. And that would be marketing. There's many different campaign formats. You can do social media. You can do paper. You can do mailings. You can do TV advertisements. Some
email.
Definitely, email. Basically, however you're going to get your service out to the public, you're going to need to test the waters a bit just to see where your population is. And it has a lot to do with time management. You need to spend time doing each step and making sure that's successful before you move on to the next one.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I kind of relate it to, did you ever play the game Zelda?
Long time ago.
A long time ago. Okay, so if you remember Zelda, you start off with nothing. You don't have a sword, you don't have a shield, you're just a person, and then as you go along, you start to develop more skills. You get a sword, and you get a shield, and magic, and by the time the end of the game, you're like ready to take on the master boss. You know, you're like, you got magic and you got all these powers. One of the things I think is important in entrepreneurship is it's going to be the same way. When you start off, you're not going to have anything.
Right.
You know, and it's going to take time. And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs fail, is they want this overnight success. And they don't realize that it takes patience and it takes time for things to build. And sometimes people don't have the runway, the financial runway, right, to get into that. It may be a struggle in the first couple of years. A lot of what do they say? Restaurants. Restaurants are in the red in the first couple of years, right? 2, 3, 4 years or something like that, right? It takes a few years to get into the green. So what do you think about that? What about being financially prepared to jump into entrepreneurship?
Well, it really depends on your business that you're planning to start. Mine was based off of my past history. I have a lot of years experience dealing with legal debt and solutions for that, as well as a lot of years experience dealing with federal student loans. So I didn't have, blessed be, I did not have a lot of overhead to start with, because I didn't need to take out a loan to make products to sell. But if you've got a product, vice versa, because mine is a service, if you have a product, you're going to have enough money to first make the prototype. And then once you've got the prototype, you got to get a loan and funding so you can actually go out, find your manufacturing for it. Or if you're manufacturing your product on your own, that's wonderful. But you have to have a solid base of income in order to start that product and get it out to the shelves or on the online market, however you're going to provide it. So really, it just depends on if you're providing a service or if you're providing a product, and then preparing yourself financially, of course. Like I said, thankfully, I didn't have that because I had years experience in learning what I need to do, much like a lawyer. You get that experience and you know what you do after that. But a lot of people, if you're passionate about something, that's the first thing I would say is, if you're passionate about it, figure out how you can use that to help yourself and help the public, and then find out if you need to get funding to provide and further that idea.
I love that. I think a lot of people learn from failure. So question I have for you is, maybe what are some of your failures or things that you've failed forward, or what are some of the biggest things that you think people are doing wrong when it comes to entrepreneurship? Some of the biggest mistakes people are making. What do you think?
Well, once again, back on marketing of it, you need to find a campaign that's actually successful. One of my failures was spending too much time trying to market on my own. I did start out with social media. I started out with Facebook. I tried LinkedIn. You do find people doing that, but if you're doing all your marketing yourself and you're the leader of the business, basically you've got more important things to do. You need to find ways to make your business more efficient, and I would strongly recommend outsourcing. So if you are not so successful trying marketing on your own, just try to test the waters and see if you get a good population of people wanting your product or your service, then I would strongly suggest outsourcing to marketing campaigns. There's millions of companies that right now during the COVID crisis definitely need additional people in their marketing populace to provide service for. So yeah, if you're looking into getting into different marketing and not spending so much time on it on your own, I'd strongly recommend outsourcing to a reputable company for it.
What are your recommendations for somebody who is wanting to outsource but nervous about they're a solo entrepreneur,
right,
taking it on themselves and worried about the expense of outsourcing? What would you say to that person?
Well, with my own experience, I've tested several different campaigns, and those providers are willing, majority of the time, if they're reputable, to provide you a trial basis, not necessarily getting in full ongoing contracts to say you're buying a marketing campaign to get at least 5,000 people to call you back that are interested in your situation. That's going to be ideal. That's down the road. First off, you need to start with a trial base. You say, okay, send me 20 people. If I get 20 people that call me in this next couple of hours based off of the link that you provided, then that's at least something to start with. You know that it actually is bringing in people to look at your product that are curious about it or need that service moving forward. So I would strongly recommend doing trial bases with anyone that you're testing marketing with, to determine if they can actually bring the people that you need for your business.
Love it, love it, love it. Ron, thank you so much for all of that great information. We appreciate you. You've got your information down there at the bottom in the ticker. You can see the website. And I hope you're doing well and staying safe in these crazy times, man. We appreciate you coming on here with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be had. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.